And so, it is time to prepare dinner. All the things that happened in the last few days must have destroyed the cooking rotation. Oh, flashback. I'll have dinner tonight to you. I'll leave dinner tonight to you. It looks like it's going to be cold tonight again, and Ilia's here, so doesn't stew sound good? But she tells me that as she leaves. Well, stew certainly seems to suit Ilia. Maybe because of how she looks with the coat and the hat. Anyways, I have no objections to making stew for dinner. I'm not that good at making Western food, but I shouldn't make any terrible mistakes with stew. Oh, before that, it's a bit before 6. Oh my god, my Xbox is freaking out. It's a bit before 6. There's still a bit of time until I need to start cooking. I'm sweaty, so I should take a bath. It's a bit of a hassle to take a bath before dinner, but since Tosaka and Saber take their baths after dinner, I'm forced to take it late. The hallway is cold. The room is warm because of the heater, but I can feel the winter cold as soon as I emerge into the hallway. It seems that even though the weather should be warm, it's been a bit screwed up the past few days. Speaking of cold, I heard that it snowed. I didn't notice, probably because it lasted less than an hour and there wasn't much. Well, if it did pile up, the yard would be full of snowman army. It would be full of a snowman army and I'd have to clean it up afterwards, so you could say I'm glad. Of course, only one person would build a snowman army. The day it snowed last year, I remember her standing in front of class with hands red from frostbite. I was going to take a shower, but the bathroom is quite hot already. Oh, what's happening now? Hopefully, it's not a 12-year-old girl. Shiro? The sound of water. As soon as my gaze moves through the bathtub, thank God. Oh, damn. That's some boobs right there. That's some boobs. That's some boobs right there. Look at the boobs! Bobs! Look at the bobs! My head goes wider than the steam. I gotta remember to blur this. Because if I don't blur this, well, my video will probably either be one of two things, taken down or age restricted. And in this situation, it probably should be age restricted. Let's hope, if I forget. And if I don't forget, hey, you get to see some boobs before this channel's taken down. What? I can't talk since my throat is numb. I can't move my body because I can't think. But still, somewhere in my head, I think that something like this happened before. No, it's not the same as before. Saber was naked last time, but I was fully clothed. But this time, I'm naked as well. Hey! Even though I'm confused, my body is reacting. Oh, jeez. Saber? My gasp echoes through the air. Saber watches as I stand there dumbfounded. Saber will get mad this time. Surely, she'll get mad. She'll definitely get mad. As proof, her soft lips are trembling as if they will yell in the next moment. Sorry, it was my fault. I tried to use the shower. I never thought someone would be using it at this time. Well, it's normal for you to think I should have noticed beforehand, but... I give my excuses while backing up toward the dressing room. It's not like I'm fascinated by Saber's body. It's just feels like Saber will get madder if I run back to the dressing room. Yeah, I'm sure. But in either case, I can't take my eyes off of her. I remember that night at the ruins, then I merely desperately felt Saber's skin. I couldn't see Saber's body in the dark, so I only remember her warmth and her sensations. Is that why? Is that why I think the body I've once obtained is so beautiful? Anyway, I'll talk to you later. I reach behind me, searching for the door, then... Excuse me, Shiro. Is it a selfish request, but would it be possible for you to stay for a while? Saber asks in a faint voice as she averts her gaze. That really blinks my mind. Why Saber won't get mad? Her embarrassed face makes all the blood go to my head. Which head? God damn it. What? Why? I murmur by reflex. Saber hangs her head even more in apology. Please use the shower at a later time. I wish for you to allow me to use this place by myself for now. Saber curls up as if hiding her body. That suddenly makes me remember. When I met Saber in the dressing room last time, she didn't say anything. The sex of a servant is of no concern. She was the one who said that, with no concern for her nakedness. Well, hold on, my head is spinning and I can't quite make it work. Come on, work. So, you're not mad. It is only natural for you to wash your body. I do not restrict my master's actions to that degree. I understand. In other words, Saber thinks nothing of being seen naked. So it's only natural that I'm here. Why is this photo still here? It is quite distracting. As the bath is a place to wash your body, it's natural for me to be here. Saber being here also is of no concern. That's, helpful, but I also think it's wrong. But then that would mean I can use the shower right now. Nips. I am saying that, Saber hangs her head in embarrassment. The problem is not being seen naked, but my body is not like that of a girl such as Green. So, Saber blushes even more and finishes with difficulty. I do not want you to look at me. Such a muscular body must appear unsightly to men. She says that. I almost faint, for a bunch of different reasons. But that's stupid, don't be... If I finish, I'm sure I'll go crazy. Saber's body is not unsightly. She claims her body is rugged, but I was never worried about that. Of course, her body is trained compared to Tosaka's, but still, I think Saber's body is really feminine. I did not expect this to happen when I was like, I'm gonna go record some Fate today. Shiro, so I wish for you to leave me alone for now. I don't know how I answered. All I can remember is that I nodded and shut the door. It's probably for the best. No, maybe it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? At least Saber got to wash her hands finally. And so the day ends. Dinner was exciting. Ilya spoke more and more at each meal today, and she had a weird relationship with Tosaka where I couldn't tell whether they were friendly or fighting. Saber is more approving of Ilya, but she must not have let her guard down as she frowns every time Ilya comes near me. I think that's for different reasons. The past few days were too wild. A normal day like this is unsettling for me. I go out to the yard quietly. It's a bit before midnight, but under the cold moonlight, I walk, leaving traces of white breath behind me. And before I realize it, I'm doing my daily routine. I'm being taught by Tosaka, so there's no need for me to train here now, but still, I sit on the cold ground and check the thing within me. It's not that I feel uneasy about my skills, this is just a jinx. I've been doing this for years now, so it just doesn't feel right unless I finish my day here. Trace on! My body today's training is more heated up than usual. Tosaka told me not to use it, but I can't obediently agree with her. If I can make this projection thing mine, it'll be a powerful weapon and I'll be able to help Saber better. Besides, I still have that heat in my body. The night at the ruin, the battle in the forest filled with morning mist, the golden sword I made, the remaining heat is still in my hands and my heart wishes it to start burning again when I try. Creation concept, analyze. producing it is easy. My mind was jumbled up back when I was desperate, but I can perform only the steps I need now. No. From the beginning, there was only one guide to Imiyashiro. Oh, and I guess you could say the one guide to Imiyashiro. I don't know where I was going with this joke. The pronunciation is the same. Just change the self-recognition, it will become an original spell. Basic structure, analyze. I understand how dangerous it is without needing for Tosaka to tell me. As a magus, Imiyashiro must not associate himself with projection. It's something that's beyond me. A venture beyond one's capabilities will eventually be paid for by death. All cut, clear, zero. I erased the blueprint I was drawing. Oh, jeez. Getting some kind of phone call. Oh well. Who is it? It's no one I know. I erased the blueprint I was drawing. On the other side of the door, as if hiding the blue moon, Saber approaches. Good, you are here. I thought something might have happened as I could not find you. No, nothing's wrong. I couldn't sleep, so I was exercising my head. I'll go back to the room once I'm done, so you don't need to worry. I see. This is good then. Saying so, she looks at me. It's impossible to hide as my face is all sweaty as always. Yeah, this is the same as always too, so don't worry about it. Magic training is natural for a magus, right? Well, I'm inexperienced, so I make a lot of mistakes. I wipe the sweat off my forehead. Huh. I'm surprised. The sweat I wiped off is ice cold. I thought it was cold, but wasn't this cold in the shed? Shiro, you have been doing this every day. Well, as much as I can. It's a daily routine Father told me to do, so I have to do at least this much. Replying, I regret that I'm bluffing. This is my daily routine. I wanted to boast to Saber by saying that. The training at the end of the day is certainly no trouble for me, but it was never easy for me either. Saber doesn't say anything. Behind her is the moon, slanting rays of light into the shed, covered in blue darkness. This is like a reproduction of the night I met her. Saber. Tosaka said something. As soon as I think this is like watching a dream. Is it true that servants don't dream? Without realizing, I ask her that question. No, we do not have dreams. As we are spiritual, we do not sleep. I have to sleep because I cannot go into spiritual form, but even I cannot dream. But this morning, you said you did. A small silence. She closes her eyes once and looks at me with a gentle face, as if she's determined. What I saw was your dream, Shiro. Oh. Does that mean she saw all the other dreams? High five! Master and servant are mentally connected as well. If our connection becomes stronger, things like seeing the other's past might start to occur. Dream. You mean my past? Yes. I knew it was a deed that steps into your mind, but I could not refuse it. Please forgive me, Shiro. You know what? We don't have any thumbnails yet so far. I'm not going to put a naked girl as the thumbnail. So this shall do. What? It did. That goes for me as well. Saber's past. I've seen the days before she became a servant many times. Idiot. That's not your fault. You can't help it if you dream about it. And besides, I'm the one who should be apologizing. I only did boring, uninteresting stuff when I was small, right? You can't sleep peacefully if you have dreams like that. Objection, Shiro! Objection! Objection! I love this. This one's really good. No, I only draped this morning. It was not a recent event, so it does not invade your privacy as a man. Saber comments honestly, but private? Well, I've done ordinary stupid things, but that's good. You say it wasn't recent, so when was it from? It was a large fire. That was the only scene I saw. Quiet voice. Her gentle eyes tell me what she saw. So she saw that. She saw PTSD. I see. Oh my god, the spire! So she dreamt about that. Oh wait, I guess it's the Holy Grail. Sauron! I see. That's, should I say unfortunate? It's like going to a movie theater to go see a movie you know, but going into the wrong theater and seeing something completely different. That made me understand. No, I thought it before as well. You have a dangerous side to you. What do you mean by dangerous? Well, I'm sure all aspects of me look dangerous in your view. That is not what I mean. Shiro, you are like me. This is why I can tell you what you have done wrong. As I am the same, I can tell what will happen to you if you continue on like this. But I haven't done anything wrong. My mistakes are countless, of course, but I'm going to become a superhero, just like my father. I can't do anything wrong. I am saying that is the wrongdoing. Shiro, that accident was not your fault. It is not something you can be held responsible for. There is nothing for you to make up. Of course. It was only an accident, and I was only a victim. Well, certainly there have been times when I felt guilty about being the only survivor, but Reen said so before that your self-sacrifice and devotion are abnormal. I feel the same way. You do not try to save others at the cost of your life. You simply do not consider your own life at all. That's kind of true for Shiro. Did my pupils open wide? Somehow I cannot see Saber's face clearly. You will not be able to forget about that accident, but you cannot change as long as you remember it. Is that not painful for you? Painful. Me? Well, of course it's painful. Saber doesn't need to tell me that. It's only natural. So many people died and it was such a hell. I think it's only natural for it to be painful. Besides, if it weren't, it might all be meaningless. Yeah, it certainly is painful to remember it, but it's already over. It's something I can't do anything about now. Saber doesn't answer. She scratches her arm, irritated. I need to obtain the Holy Grail, but it is the same for you as well. Saber? You need the Holy Grail. It was inevitable that I would be called to you, Master. How can I answer that? I will go ahead and sleep. Please do not push yourself, Shiro. Saber leaves. I cross my arms and ponder. Do I need the Holy Grail? The Grail that grants the wishes of its possessor. A vessel which contains unlimited amounts of magical energy for which it is said nothing is impossible. If I had such a thing, my wish would certainly be easily granted, but no, that's wrong. No matter how I look at it, I don't need the Holy Grail. Yeah, I definitely don't need it. Because I don't have any wishes that won't come true or that aren't impossible. Because if it's a dream that I can't reach by myself, I won't even dream it in the first place. The night thickens. With only the moonlight, I listen to the distant wind in the familiar shed. Well, I guess we're on day 13 now. That's a pretty good scene. A red hill covered in corpses and a gray sky. The heavy clouds drift away, announce the end of the battle. I know this scene. This is a scene I've seen many times already. This is one of the battles Saber experienced. There are the remains of a battleground so familiar to her as she is always victorious. After this, she will not return to her castle. The people will celebrate her victory, and they will prepare for the next. This is her everyday life. This is but one of the 12 great battles she has gone through. This is why she does not bear any memories of the victory, but merely accepts it calmly. I think about such random things. That is not a dream, just a cold truth that cannot be changed. From the moment she drew the sword from the stone, she was not human. After becoming a feudal lord, like her father, she became a king with many knights. She was called King Arthur, or Arturia, and the girl who had tried to become a knight had her life turned around. No, it is more correct to say that it ended. At this instant, the girl with childlike features disappeared, and the only existence permitted was that of the King of Knights. She acted as the son of the king. That is because the one to govern many territories and control the knights had to be male. The only ones who knew that the king was just a girl were her father and the Magus. She literally covered herself in steel and sealed that truth for all of her life. Why didn't I realize what that meant? Someone placed before everyone managed to keep her identity secret. I don't know what suffering she went through as I'm only watching from a distance. Time passes. These must be her memories of the 10 years she spent as king. There's only one thing in common to all of them. Even on the throne, even in a hallway, even on the battlefield, no one talked to her. Even the loud round table filled with the knights' tales of bravado falls silent when the king steps in. So that's what it means. She was only idolized. Many knights looked down on Arturia, who looked like a small kid, and they did not approve of swearing their sword to her. Because she drew out the sword that they could not, they had to obey her, at least in form. They just accepted the disgrace, believing that it would pass. Even if she drew the sword, she is just a child. Even with Merlin's help, she will fail soon enough. When that happens, they need to only take the holy sword away from her and reselect the king. That's what most of the knights thought, but the results were different. The knight was just entered adulthood was a king. The knight that just entered adulthood was a king without flaw. She brought peace to the fighting lords and immediately fought off the invading enemies. Of course, it wasn't because of the power of the holy sword. The holy sword only protects the king. It is the king's power that protects the country, and in that way, she suppressed the knights with results. The protection of the holy sword works only against enemy swords. It does not help rule over people's hearts. She worked hard to be an ideal king, and so the knights had to follow their king. They suppressed their dissatisfaction with the young king as they saw he was perfect. She tried to be an ideal king. Being an ideal king was the condition of their support. There was no room for the human Arturia. The girl determined to be kinged. A great knight who pulled out the holy sword, who did not age from that moment on, and the one who won 12 great battles. The more perfect she was, the more people kept away from her. The longer she stayed that way, the more isolated she became. That was her true identity. But she still did well. No, she did too well. She defeated her enemies efficiently and minimized the victims in battle. No matter what kind of war it was, a battle will have victims. So she believed she could make sacrifices before the war to prepare the army and to defeat the enemy efficiently. She would exhaust one village to prepare the army, defeat the invaders before they could damage the land, and save 10 villages. That was the solution she came up with as the king, and in truth, it was the best policy. But the knights must have been unhappy. For them, only the invaders should die. It was only proper to win without allowing any victims. There is no need to sacrifice one's own territory before a battle. We will win, so there will not be any victims. There will not be any victims, so the king's actions are fruitless. That's what they thought. Of course, that was just a fantasy. Once the battle began, the knights did not think about the small villages. It was only natural for them to trample over them, as the small villages are not what they seek to protect. The knights say it is only natural to be destroyed by the invaders, but it is a great sin to destroy them with our own hands. Of course, she knew that. But a king cannot allow her personal feelings to affect her decisions. She kills her emotions to make a decision, and the knights suppress their personal feelings to obey. And after many sacrifices and continuing victories, the country became stable. The price of that was a revolt against the king. King Arthur does not understand human feelings. One knight said so and left the castle. It is a ridiculous story. Nobody wanted her to be human, but they revolted against her because she didn't have a human feeling. The age of chaos continues. The knights who had been dissatisfied with the king for some time became more dissatisfied after that one knight left. They pushed all problems onto her and cornered her. Ruin was in sight. Death if she could not solve all of the problems. Even if she did solve them, the result would be the same. But such trivial things are of no concern to a king. Her mind will not change even if she is abandoned, feared, or betrayed. Probably because she had her mind made up long before. She abandoned her emotions from the moment she decided to pull out the sword. A scene from a few years ago. Knights from all over the country gathered to try to pull out the sword in the stone, but nobody pulled it out, and the knights were desperate to choose the most superior king by competing jousting skills. The knights went to the arena and forgot about the sword. It felt much like watching a festival from a distance. In the distance are the brave sounds of the cavalry. The roars of the knights are far away. There is no one around the stone. What did the girl think before that? Before she realized it, an unknown Magus was standing behind her. You should think this through before you grab that. He says he is not trying to frighten her, but that should stop. You will not be human once you take a hold of that sword. He also said that she would be resented by all humanity and die a miserable death. She could not have been without fear, because the Magus showed her the end she would face if she took that sword. No, but that just made the girl more determined. She nodded firmly, even when she was shown her future. The Magus asks her if she really is fine with that. Many people were smiling. I do not believe it will be a mistake. She takes the sword. The Magus turns his back. A miracle has a price. In exchange, you will lose the thing most important to you, and leaves those prophetic words. That's right. The girl only wanted to protect everyone, but to do so she had to throw away the emotion of wanting to protect people, because one cannot protect a country as king if one has human emotions. She accepted it and pulled out the sword. She accepted it and swore to live as the king, so her heart would not change, even if she was abandoned, feared, or betrayed. She threw away her heart. The young girl decided to protect in exchange for it. Who would ever know of such a sublime oath? She chose to fight, no matter what. She still chose to fight, even if there was inevitable solitary ruin waiting at the end. And the end was this, the Battle of Camlan. One knight usurped the throne while King Arthur was on a campaign. Her country split into two, and a war began. In the legend, it is said that knights and chivalry were utterly destroyed. She slashed away the knights that once followed her and attacked the lands she once protected. The knights who sided with her died, and her body was crippled. There is nobody around. That's not normal. Nothing has changed. The only thing in her heart is the pride as the knight. She knew of this end, but she still ran through her life because she believes something came of it. She has no regrets. If there is one regret, it is that the country is in ruin. She raises her eyes. She might be able to see the distant castle from his hill. But all that's there is the remains of the battle, a deep forest and a lake she must return to. Yes, the hill she ran through is now a wall she cannot climb over. Strength escapes her shoulders, and for the first time the girl lets go of the holy sword by her own will. And that is the end. It's only natural for the dream to end here, because that is the end of her memories. So this is one end that cannot be changed. She worked so hard. She was resented and she was betrayed. No one ever realized that she loved the people more than the country, and she was always the merciless king. She was never rewarded or understood. On the Red Hill of Swords, the solitary girl who was always betrayed was about to face death. I wake up to the sound of the rain. It's morning. I hold my shaking head and get my body up. It's not 6 yet. Ugh. The sound of rain from outside isn't that loud. I rattle my teeth at the sudden headache, but it only lasts for a moment. Neither the pain nor the image that pops into my head lasts long, but that scene is more than enough to wake my brain up. That dream. No, I don't even need to confirm it. That was Saber's past. It was the end of her life that happened a long time ago that cannot be changed. Before I realize it, I'm gritting my teeth. It's making a sound. Somehow I'm really angry. I grit my teeth loudly and suppress the urge to have a fit. Damn it, what was that? Just remembering it makes me mad. Her past, her thinking nothing of it, and me thinking the dream was nothing? I don't like it. I don't know what I don't like about it, but I just don't. I hate it. I don't want that. That life was unfair, no matter how you look at it. Such a life is wrong. She only wished for others. She did not wish anything for herself in return. She worked so hard, but nobody knew about it, and that pisses me off. It's just too unfair. That's right. If she worked harder than anybody else, she should be rewarded the most. She has to be rewarded for all the things she's done. But what can be done now? Can I just tell her that she did a good job? She praise her that she was great? Of course not. Such easy words won't fix anything. I know. There's only one answer. That's right. If she is to be rewarded, her life must be repaid. That girl, Arturia, has to become happy in proportion to how much she has fought. But what can I do? My train of thought stops there. I don't know how to make people happy. That makes me realize my own distortions. I've been living trying to be a superhero, but all I've been doing is lending people a hand. I believed everybody around me would be happy if I helped others like that. No. I couldn't move forward with pride unless I believed that. Helping someone and saving someone are essentially different. I can't think of a way to reward Saber because I don't know the difference between the two. So he's finally realized. The breakfast table is the same as always. Saber and Tosaka must be adaptable as they already seem to be used to Ilya's presence. So what are you going to do, Shiro? There are 3 masters left. It's not like the Holy Grail War can go on forever, so you should start acting, and it's pretty pitiful to always give others the initiative. Tosaka is right. My body is fine and Saber is healed. Yesterday should be the last day of rest. You're right, but even if we are to act, it'll be an evening. We'll do the same things as always while the sun's up. Seriously? Well, I guess it doesn't do any good to walk around randomly when we don't know anything about your opponents. Then you're going to get beaten up by Saber again? Training with Saber. That's the usual tasks. And it's natural for a master to prepare for battle. We are training. That comment sounded unpleasant. Well, yeah, I'll get beaten up by Saber in the morning. Shiro, you put me in a difficult position, if you say that as well. Huh? Oh, sorry, Saber. I wasn't listening. I'm speaking of how rudely Reen talks. Honestly, what is going on, Shiro? You do not seem well today. Breakfast is a bit smaller than usual as well. Were you in the shed until late last night? She asks, but Saber's words aren't criticizing. I can feel that Saber believes in me. That's why it's even harder to look at her now. If I do, the image of that hill pops into my head. Ah, fine. I shall drive some energy into you later. So we will train in the dojo today as well? Is that the plan, Shiro? Yeah, please. How about you, Ilya? Me? I'll do the same as yesterday. I don't like getting wet in the rain, so I don't want to go outside. I see, that's a big help. I want you to stay in the house as much as possible. Going outside is too dangerous. Yeah, I'll consider staying with you if you cook boxed lunches like you did yesterday. Seems like Ilya liked the boxed lunch yesterday. Of course she did. Basically, she just said she did. I'm a bit embarrassed that she's content with such a thing, but I'm happy if she's happy. So, I guess it'll be the same as yesterday? I have something to research, so I'll be in my room. Come by my room in the afternoon since I need to talk with you. Research? Yep, I think you've realized, but Ryoto Temple has been strange since yesterday. They stopped the magical energy collection they've been working so hard on, so it's only natural to assume they're doing something. Well, it seems the master at Ryoto Temple is the most troublesome one, so I'll make a familiar and try to find out what's going on inside. But should you not concentrate on the search, I do not think there is a need to take time off to teach Shiro. Well, that's just how it is. Sorry, but bear with me. He seems unreliable, so I can't just leave him alone. It's fine if he gets killed by the enemy, but if he dies because he messes up his magic, I'll be ashamed as his teacher. Yes, it is just as you say, Reen. There was something wrong with me. I do not know why I would have thought your lessons were not useful for Shiro. You record these videos for so long, your voice starts to go out. The reason's pretty simple, but it's best not to talk about it. Then good luck with your morning training. He's pretty tough, so it's best to beat him to within an inch of his life. Tosaka leaves the room with an absurd comment. Saber, don't take her too seriously. She's only saying that because you've never beaten her up. I remind her just in case. I do not know why Saber's so happy, but... Yes, I know. I know your body better than her. Ha 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 ha! Ah! It's kind of true. She replies like that. What is wrong? You are not going to eat, Eliasfield. You have not eaten a third of what you ate yesterday. No, I just can't eat this. I can't eat spicy food. I do not think it is that spicy. The spice is very good with this chicken. I don't like mustard. Just eat it for me. I'll eat your strawberries instead. Objection! Objection, Eliasfield! What are you doing? Hey, return that! You cannot have that. You may have the apple pie if you want something sweet. Sitting next to each other, the two of them are fighting like close sisters. It's past noon. We three eat... God, I just love that. Objection! We three are eating lunch together like yesterday. Oh yeah, the lunch isn't that. The lunch isn't the only thing that's the same as yesterday. The training before this was exactly like yesterday's. No, it was more awkward today. I don't know how to put it, but my heart starts beating hard. Oh, somebody like Saber. When I see Saber and I can't attack her seriously now. Saber is also acting strangely, as she never used to overlook such openings, but now she waits for me to attack. For a while, we just stared at each other. This has been great. What's wrong? It's boring if you don't do anything. I renewed my spirit with that and attacked Saber, but the results were the same. After repairing my half-assed attack, she would not counter and let me go. As I wasn't attacked, I would face Saber again and charge again, but she would overlook me. This strange time ended about 10 minutes ago. At Saber's request, we entered the lunch break and we're eating lunch now. The menu is the same as yesterday, sandwich. But I couldn't just make the same thing as yesterday, so I elaborated on the ingredients, and it seems they really like it. Elia's in high spirits, and Saber caught her breath, faced with the multicolored sandwiches. I'm just guessing, but I think Saber must have been getting ready. Anyways, it's much louder today than yesterday. It's raining outside, and the floor is cold wood, but I think this feels like a picnic. Jeez, that is enough, Eliasville. Your clothes will get dirty like that. That happens because you try to eat in one bite like Shiro. Your mouth is so small, so you should eat more slowly. You're the one who doesn't understand. It's even more impolite to worry about manners at a lunch like this. This is a picnic, so acting like this is correct. Right, Shiro? Elia munches on the sandwich happily. Saber wipes Elia's mouth. Kya ha ha, that tickles Saber. It's a bit surprising. It's not just Saber, as Elia trusts Saber more than she did yesterday. I'm surprised. You do not reject me, Eliasville. Well, why? I like being treated kindly. Yeah, if anyone else touches me, I'll kill them. But I'll forgive you since you're pretty. And you're someone to eat lunch with. If you like me, I like you too. Elia says so simply. Saber looks at Elia dumbfounded. Elia's smile was a surprise attack even for me, who was watching from the side. What? This isn't fun for you, Saber? Well... I'm having fun. It's raining outside. This place is too simple, and I have none of the things I wanted. But being here is fun. It's much warmer than being alone, right? But you're not having fun? She must have felt something in Elia's smile. Saber lets out a deep sigh and stares at the white girl. You are right. Being like this is fun for me as well. A clear voice. Oh, is this... I don't think we've ever seen Saber actually have an emotional response to anything before. This is a first! I don't think this has ever happened before. That's great. Clear voice. She smiles in a way I've never seen before. My heart feels warm for some reason. That smile was good. That smile was herself. Not a smile from watching over someone's safety, but a smile because she is happy herself. Shiro, why are you making that face? Did something good happen? Huh? No, it's nothing. Wait, was I making a strange face? Yeah, you were. It was like a fatherly face, like you're watching over us from afar. I don't like faces like that. I don't understand what she's talking about, but does that mean I was smiling? So I love Elia's look. You better not be playing. I see. Well, something good happened, so maybe I was grinning. Something good? Yeah, I like the kind of smile you just made. I was just glad I got to see it. I do not understand. You like such a thing? Yeah, it seems I like seeing that kind of expression on you. Saber nods, still not understanding. Then, she must have realized something as she smiles and raises her head. I see. Then it is the other way around. What do you mean? I'm happier if you are smiling. It is enough for me if you can keep smiling. I can't look directly at Saber. I bet anyone would overheat if they were smiled at like that. Somehow I calm myself down and sneak a peek at Saber. Saber has returned to eating with a calm face. There's no unease in her expression. There's nothing to worry about, but something is nagging at the back of my head. I am happier if you're smiling. Yes, with that smile I saw for the first time. She was saying something entirely contradictory.